The Pomodoro technique is a time management framework that is broken down into work plus rest. The reason that this is so important is because a lot of times when you're hearing about time management, the thing that you're predominantly hearing about is work, where rest is marginalized or it's not even mentioned at all. One Pomodoro rep is broken down into work plus rest. And throughout this class, we're going to be talking about how work and rest, it's dynamic in nature. Sometimes you're working more and sometimes you're resting more. And with this dynamic approach, it's much easier to get a lot of work done because you're able to adapt and adjust with your workflow. The first thing that you need for the Pomodoro technique is a clarified task. So let's go on with the example that you're an author. You have been procrastinating thus far and your agent is like, hey, Bucky, we need the manuscript from you ASAP. Quit procrastinating. So at this point, you want to use the Pomodoro technique in order to get through your manuscript. Here's the incorrect way to do it. You start a Pomodoro and you have no clue what you should be working on. So as the timer begins, you're over here doing some research. You're working on the manuscript. You're hopping into proofreading, editing, and much more, and you're spinning a lot of plates at once. This is incorrect. The correct way to do the Pomodoro is to say, at this point, I'm just going to focus on writing a rough draft. And once the timer begins, you have the utmost clarity on what you should be doing. So get very clear in regards to that. If you're going to be working on a task, what is that task that you are working on? Not tasks. Task. Find that and then let's get to the next video. A typical Pomodoro is broken down into 25 minutes of work followed by 5 minutes of rest. Now, depending on your personality type, you may try to be suboptimal with either or. You may be one of those guys when you're supposed to be working, you're thinking about rest. And when you're supposed to be resting, you're thinking about work. The unique thing with the Pomodoro technique is that it creates a switch in your mind. So you want to be very deliberate, especially in the beginning stages, to focus on whatever you are assigned at the moment. If you're working, focus wholeheartedly on the work. And if you're resting, focus wholeheartedly on the rest. By doing a couple of reps of this, you know how to activate the switch in your mind that allows for more productivity in the future. The unique thing with the Pomodoro technique is that it's dynamic in nature. After about 3 to 4 reps of doing 25 minutes to 5 minutes, you can begin to experiment. And you don't even have to wait 3 to 4 reps. Let's say after the first rep, you've done 25 minutes, then you followed it with 5 minutes. For the second rep, you could do 20 minutes of work followed by 10 minutes of rest. And then for the rep after that, you do 15 minutes of work followed by 15 minutes of rest. It really depends on the task. You're going to see different people throwing out different numbers, but you definitely want to assess the task that you have at hand and then adjust based off of the metrics that you see best fit. But the standard practice is in the beginning stages, you want to schedule in more work and little rest. And as time starts to pass on by, you schedule in less work and more rest.